Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to our continued trend of the tier list. If you watched our last episode, we did wide receivers, and today we are moving on to the people that make the wide receivers breakouts or bad seasons possible, possibly, and that is quarterbacks.
True.
So, yeah, we are your hosts, Adam,
Dante.
And Luke,
Luke with the headphones today.
yep,
Right.
you guys let me know if the audio is too
Sounds good to
muffled or
me.
bad. If it sounds good, then we'll go with it.
I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine.
All you need to hear is me putting Drake May in elite. The rest doesn't really matter. So,
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude.
all
We
right,
got the
let's get going.
We got the Thunder gear on today, of course. Game 7 tonight. Really hoping and praying, but
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
Pacers have been a lot tougher than I expected, but that's
yeah,
but anyways, this episode is about football, not basketball. So let's get into the QBs here. And we are starting off. So how are we doing it, guys? Are we doing it like we each take turns ranking somebody and talk about it, or
Yeah, I say we do it like we did last time. I think the order was Adam, myself, and Luke.
that's fine.
yeah. Fine
That's
me.
that's the way it goes down on my Zoom list. I'm up
Then it
top.
looks like I get to put Josh Allen in mid, so I'll take that opportunity all day long.
Yeah, there you go.
I've got an interesting start here with Mr. Goff. I don't think I'll start by saying he definitely doesn't belong in mid or 2023 Kenny Pickett or unproven slash rookie because he's not a rookie. But I don't think he belongs in elite either. He's very close to that elite tier, but I don't think he's there. I'm close between very good and good. I think I'm going to go very good for now.
I would say low, very good. But
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I have no
that's
problem
fine.
with that. I have no
Not,
problem with him being the
yeah.
precedent for very good.
Not one of the like dual threat quarterbacks, more of like a throwback quarterback, just throwing the
yeah,
ball, but gets the job done. Good
yeah,
for his system.
he's a pocket passer,
Yeah.
and in that Lions offense, that's all you really need. So,
If you can fit in the Lions offense, then you're going to go places. So,
right, exactly.
all right.
Assuming is it's as electric without Ben Johnson, which is yet to be seen, but it's been the premier offense of the NFL. So
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
we shall see. But Dante, you're up with Mr. Joe Burrow.
Joe Burr.
Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow. I know he's one of my rivals, but I love watching the guy play, and I think we could all agree he's elite. He is so good, in my opinion. I think he could arguably be the best quarterback in the NFL. However, you could argue that it's because of his two stud wide receivers. Well, other than that, on that offense, there's really not much. But I love Joe Burrow. I think he is so consistent, and you know, yeah, just love the guy.
Yeah.
I agree. He has his weeks where he puts up these monster numbers you don't see anymore. And you could easily put him above some of the other guys, like one of the guys we're going to talk about right now, Josh Allen. Very similar situation to what you just said as a Patriots fan. I hate how much I love watching him play. He's a monster. Um, I only love how much that seems to disappear when he goes against the Chiefs in the playoffs. But for the normal 18 to 19 other games he plays throughout the year, whether or not he deserves that MVP, he does deserve elite status.
I got
I
nervous.
still
I
think.
thought you were gonna bump him down.
What'd you say?
I said I got nervous. I thought you were gonna bump him down.
No, yeah, no, I can very safely put him above Jared Goff. I can do that at least. Um, I don't think he deserved the MVP, but he still got it. Kind of a here, fine, take one MVP.
Yeah,
But regardless, he belongs in the elite tier.
cool.
All right. I'm up with Jalen Hurts. And I just got to shout out Yahoo Sports and their top 10 quarterback list, not having Jalen Hurts in the top 10, but having Geno Smith and Dak Prescott. With all due respect to both quarterbacks, not bad players, but we're talking about the Super Bowl MVP here, who I think is very good and should go at the front of very good for right now. That's where I would put Jalen Hurts.
Front of very
Yeah, that's agreeable.
Yeah.
couldn't agree more.
Above Jared Goff.
That's right where I would put him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
So
All right, I'm up with who I wish was my quarterback right now. And that's no shade to A-Rod because I'm stoked to have him. Which we haven't really talked about, but we'll get to that whenever we get to
Sure.
him. But
Yep.
Justin Fields, you guys know how much I love Justin Fields. Um, he's a polarizing figure in the world of the NFL. Um, I am going to put him in mid, unfortunately. I think we could all
Yes.
agree with that. I'd love to put him in good, but once again, like he was good with the Steelers, but just played 6 games, So we need to see him how he performs with this Jets offense, which I'm not expecting great things, but we shall see. But for now, my sweet prince, I'm so sorry. You're in the mid tier.
Played only 6 games with the Steelers, and while the numbers were good, they didn't ask him to do a heck of a lot.
True.
Um, he has the tools to be good, and I think that the Jets are going to give him every chance to prove himself, which is good because he deserves a fresh start because he kind of got kept on the leash with the Steelers. I would probably rather have Aaron Rodgers personally, although at this point in his career, he's uh, the word polarizing again comes up. But I agree that's I think where you have to put Justin Fields for right now is in mid.
Cool.
Yeah.
This be my turn again.
Yes.
Yes.
Jaden Daniels. After 1 year, do we put him in the elite tier? I'm gonna say no.
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I
I don't
wouldn't.
agree with that.
It's this is kind of the through the filter of it was only his rookie year, especially after what CJ Stroud just did, or more accurately, didn't do in his sophomore year. So I'm gonna. The jury's still out. He certainly had some elite moments. I mean, made he made it all the way almost to the Super Bowl in his rookie year with the Commanders, and he had the chemistry with Terry McLaurin. But he's just. I would put him. I'm trying to decide if I want to put him between Hurts and Goff or after Goff.
I
Uh,
would rather have Jane Daniels than Jared Goff.
yeah, I think I'm
Yeah.
tempted to put him. You can stick him right between Jalen Hurts and Jared Goff.
Exactly.
I think the legs and the youth and the athleticism put him nicely in between those two guys. Jaden Daniels is a very good quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, I'm up with Anthony Richardson. Oh man, I don't know what to think about Anthony Richardson. It's been 2 years of, I feel like, question marks. Not great play. Of course, last year he came out of the game because he was tired. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't hate the guy, but not really sure he's going to be. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. Throw him in Kenny Pickett tier.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think it's what you
As
have to do.
unfortunate as it is, I think that's where he belongs. I mean, we knew the dude was a project coming into the league, and to still be considered a heavy project in year three is a little concerning. Given year one, I think he had a lot of injuries, but last year just did not look great,
The
Yeah.
wheels fell off. Yeah. hmm
unfortunately.
True.
Dante, you have a really tough one here.
Patty Mahomes, he's the best. He's so good. You know, 3 Super Bowl championships before the age of 30. Unbelievable. Could have been 4, really. Yeah. Could have been 5, for being real.
Luke
That
looks
is
like he
three.
wants to add something though.
I don't love having him above Burrow or
Oh,
really Allen.
I just put him there.
You just put him there just because
Yeah. I
we
mean,
can. If we're doing this as a sort of in order kind of thing, I'd maybe put him between those guys.
oh,
But
would you go Burrow 1?
I'd go Burrow. I'd keep Burrow one. Yeah.
At this point, maybe. I
I'd
mean,
agree.
Mahomes
I'd
stats.
confidently put Burrow one. I'm just, especially after last year, I'm thinking Josh Allen or Mahomes. I guess one still beat the other, so I have no problem with this.
I'd rather have Mahomes than Allen, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the playoffs at least. Yeah, so that's fine.
A lot of us would argue maybe Allen shouldn't have been MVP and it maybe should have been Lamar still, but
I say you can make the argument for Burrow.
yeah, you still could.
Yeah,
Yeah. But no,
you
I
could
don't
have.
like
Yeah, that's
41 touchdowns, 4
mhm,
picks. We'll talk about Lamar later, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it should have been Lamar, but it was.
yeah.
It also could have not been Lamar the year prior, so whatever.
True.
Um,
So,
I got Justin Herbert. I think this is very easy. I see an open space in good. Let's start off the good tier with him. I really like Justin Herbert. I am a Justin Herbert supporter and apologizer, but I'm seeing myself doing more of that lately. Finally has a good coach. Um, it's still it just hasn't happened for him. And he did not have a good game in the playoffs. It will be one thing if he had a good game, but he did not show up, and so I can't in good faith put him in very good. But he is a really good quarterback. I'll keep him below very good. I think good is a good spot for him.
can I
Good, 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 good.
can I
Yeah,
talk about Herbert for just 1 second?
Yeah.
please.
I'm so tired. And Luke, this is not you by any means, but he gets so much like he gets babied way more than any
Hmm.
quarterback in the NFL just because he's not in a good situation. But there are
Really
quarterbacks with way worse situations who are playing
Yeah. Oh
better.
yeah.
Like
Yeah. It's true.
I think Justin Herbert is good, but people that are putting him top five in the league are insane.
He's overrated.
He's and it's not even his fault because he's still
Yeah.
good. He
Yeah.
makes the Chargers good, but people overrate him
Yeah.
like he's up with Hurts and Allen and Burrow, but he's not even close.
And for anyone calling us out for saying he's overrated, listen, overrated doesn't mean bad.
100%. I'd love to have Justin Herbert as my quarterback.
Yeah. I
I could
think
also
any of them.
rationalize and say he's not top five, like a lot of these sites put him as, i.e., Yahoo Sports.
Yeah.
That's why people call him if man. No, if he had weapons, if he had.
But I hate to shit on the guy
But
because, like, it is true. They could have got
it
more.
is true. It is true. But look at Philip Rivers. A lot of those guys never get that. They never get and the best ones make the most out of crappy situations. So,
True.
I mean,
and he is a good quarterback. So I like where we have him.
now Herbert has Lad McConkey, so I feel like the excuses go out the window a little bit. Now you
Not
have
out, but
not completely.
I mean, that's good, but like, he's not
I mean, 1,000 yard receiver is a rookie.
for
But
sure.
it's just the fact that he didn't really show up, Herbert in the playoff game, turns me off a little bit. So I think where we have him is good.
Cool.
All right, Luke, I apologize. I got a little um what's the word I'm looking for? Like weirded out when you were ranking Herbert because I thought it was my turn, but I forgot you go after Dante. So I
Oh
thought
yeah,
you skipped over
good.
me for a second, but no, you didn't.
Nah,
Okay.
sorry.
So I am up now with Geno Smith. And I feel like good's a good place for him. I don't think Geno's mid. I feel like Geno's hated on. He's a good quarterback. Yeah, he's a late bloomer, but he's a good quarterback. Maybe not, he's not going to be at the top of good. He might be at the bottom of the good tier, but I'd take him maybe over most of the other guys. He's not bad. I think he's going to help Vegas tremendously this year.
Yeah, I was thinking high, mid, low, good. So that's where I would put him.
Yeah, I like Geno Smith, but I'm very hesitant to buy into Vegas personally.
Yeah.
I don't think that all that much really changed. I'll have to see if Pete Carroll still has the touch. I have to see. I feel like every single offseason I ask, is this year the Geno Smith that the magic wears off? We'll see. And Ashton Genty is obviously exciting, although I'm just a little hesitant to buy in on them. But I think that bottom of good is a good spot. I was hoping you didn't try to put him above Justin Herbert because Herbert's a better quarterback, but I think where you have him is fine.
Yeah, talking more about Vegas, I'm excited to see how he meshes with Bowers, and
Okay, yes, Brock Bowers, yeah,
I feel like Bowers will be good, but I'm just like concerned about their receiving core because
yeah,
like they have after they traded Devontae. Did they trade him?
yeah.
Yeah,
No, I think he walked. Yeah, no, they did trade him to
yeah,
the
yeah,
Jets.
Yeah, for like a fourth or something. Or,
The
yeah.
Jets.
But
Yeah,
like
it's still just Jacoby Myers over there, so
Lee Myers,
not enough.
not bad, but like
He's fine. He's a good wide receiver too, and it's not
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
So
Anyway, I'm up with Bo Nix, and call me crazy, I'd put him right between these guys.
that's
that's
exactly
what
where
I'm
I'd put him.
thinking too.
Right
I
between
think Bo
Herbert and
Nix,
Gino. Yeah,
yeah, I think
I think
Bo
we got
Nix
three
is
of them.
a stud, and he is.
yeah.
This Bronco team could be good. If they, improve on offense and stay consistent like they were last year on defense, because they had one of the best defensive units in the league last year. I think they could be pretty good and even contend easily for the number 2 spot in the AFC West, but maybe even number 1. Who knows? But yeah, I like Bo Nix, and I hope to see him, you know,
Yeah,
make a even bigger jump.
and I think it's possible. I think one of the things that was mainly responsible for how good the Broncos got last year was their defense blooming.
Yeah.
So that leaves the door open for even more improvement if their offense takes that jump, and it's
Mhm.
certainly possible. Because I really like their receiver room. They always run the ball well.
Yeah.
Um, so did they just sign J.K. Dobbins or was that someone else?
No, they signed
Oh,
Dobbins.
they
They
did.
did, yeah.
And I was
So
actually
I
going to say, like, sorry
yeah,
to interrupt you, but
no,
like going back to their defense, it's crazy how good they were because outside of PS2, there
yeah,
was really no like
no
stud.
big names.
They just like
No, yeah,
played really well together, you know?
yeah.
It's
hmm
pretty nice. Anyway,
So looking down this list,
Yeah.
let's put those six rookies in the unproven rookie
yeah.
category. Let's do that.
I was gonna
And
say
then
perfect timing for you, Luke.
yeah. And then is that Desmond Ritter? Oh my goodness.
No,
No,
that's
it's Dylan Gabriel.
Oh, it is? Oh, well, okay.
we could talk
I
about it if you
I
want.
was really excited to put Desmond Ritter in 2023 Kenny Pickett uh status, but if he's
But
still
how are we gonna
I
rank
think
these
he's off the
rookies
list.
though?
We're not. I don't know.
But
I
we
mean,
could
we could
talk
talk
about
about them. We could talk about them.
Yeah.
Um, do we think any of them have legit futures as guys who are going to get their second contracts as a starter? I think for me, only two of them do. Cam Ward and Jalen Milroe, but a couple of the other guys will probably make a second contract somehow.
it. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, Cam Ward for sure. I'm hesitant on Milrow.
Yeah.
I just like him in Seattle.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't love him in the draft, but I think it's a good fit for him.
Hmm.
And they're not going to have to rush him because of Sam Darnold, assuming that he is at least 75% of what he was last year. I'm not going to have to rush him. So I do kind of like him in Seattle. That's why I said I think he can make a second contract there. But
Yeah.
I'm also, of course, not sold or attached to the idea that he can be the guy. It's just more. I think he has that potential.
Hmm. I think um all of these guys, it's really up in the air. This is one of the it was a very quarterback, not even a very quarterback heavy draft. I don't even know what I'm saying. But a lot of these guys, like whenever guys come into the league, like whenever you saw Jane Daniels and Drake May, you're like, okay, those are the futures for those teams. For these guys, it's really up in the air. Like
Yeah,
you can tell guys are going to be career backups or not. Like I have no idea what Shador Sanders is going to turn out to be. Um, I know what I think he might turn out to be. But you
Starts
really,
with a B and ends with an UST.
yeah, truthfully.
used car salesman.
Yeah. I think the biggest question mark is Will Howard. We'll see where the Steelers want to go after this season with Rodgers. Like if they want to develop Will Howard or if they want to take a guy like a Nissemeyer or a Drew Aller in next year's draft.
Yeah,
But yeah, we really don't know.
I know how we all feel about Will Howard. I like him a lot. I don't really think it's a question mark. I don't think he has a future as the guy. I think everything would have to go right.
Yeah,
I think that's extremely unlikely. It seems to me that the Steelers are gearing up to draft a guy early next year.
yeah,
But I mean, Will Howard is a very easy guy to cheer for, so
true.
that doesn't change that. But
Yeah, yeah.
um,
All right, guys, what are our thoughts on Quinn Ewers?
I
He'll be starting for
I'm
Miami
still
by
a little
week 6.
confused. I'm still a little confused why he slipped so far. Um, what was he? Was he a seventh rounder?
Yeah, I guess just because he was injured a lot last year.
I guess, but like I don't know. So I think it was a good find in the seventh round. Obviously, good pick value.
Hmm.
Um, I'm curious whether or not he's going to play over Zach Wilson
Hmm.
when Tua inevitably misses a couple games. Who are they going to throw in there? Probably Zach Wilson,
Yeah,
but be funny if they got Quinn Ewers above him. I think he can be good. I think it will much more depend on how much the glue is holding up in Miami. If the locker room is in order and if those wide receivers keep their heads on straight. Uh, if he does get a chance, if they're all playing and have good chemistry, then maybe he'll look pretty good. But no, he's interesting because I think he's better than the seventh rounder, but that's where he went.
Yeah, true. Jackson
Yeah.
Dart, I don't even know.
Giants, it would take a miracle for him to be
Yeah.
a really good, to end up being a really good guy, just by way of the New York Giants. So
Yeah, and like that quarterback room is weird. Russ
very weird.
and Dart,
Jameis, yeah, very weird.
but
Um,
fun.
yeah, unpredictable.
Yeah, we'll
Probably
see.
won't be good, but could be interesting to see how it turns out.
We'll see. I'm excited to see Russ to Neighbors. I feel like that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, whoever to Neighbors, truthfully, yeah,
Yeah, true.
because Neighbors, we talked about him in our last video. It's just
Hmm.
he's that good.
Yeah,
So, I
and
guess that kind of covers it for the rookies. I mean, I
yeah,
was honestly going to say I'm
So
not I'm not motivated towards any strong feelings for Dylan Gabriel either.
yeah. Truthfully, yeah.
I was gonna say I looked at the list, and Dante, if you go with Aaron Rodgers here, the way we are alternating, if we continue that pattern from Dante then to Luke, we'll all get to rank our guys in the correct order. Because I mean, we're not gonna rank Derek Carr because he's retired.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay,
Stick
that's
with
fine.
Derek Carr, and then Bryce Young will be up to me. So,
Yeah, sure.
all right, I guess Dante, you're and this is how Dante can kind of w give us your thoughts on the whole
Yeah.
shebang.
So it was like my first or second day of my internship, and me and my buddy Dustin, we went to the goated Beaver Valley Mall Chick-fil-A. If you know, you
Nice.
know.
Oh yeah,
Um, and
truly an experience. Yeah,
we sat down, and Adam texted me, and he just goes all caps Rogers, and I'm like, okay, I guess it finally happened. Yeah,
yeah,
or I thought he was like messing with me, so I look at Twitter, I'm like, holy shit, it actually did happen. Which we all had a feeling it was going to happen from the start. And honestly, while like leading up, I was like, okay, we'll have Rogers. But right when it hit, I'm like, fucking got Rogers. I'm like, hell
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. I think he is, getting a lot of hate that is unwarranted, some warranted, but a lot of that isn't. Uh, I don't think he's a washed up guy at all. I saw a lot of guys saying like no quarterback besides Tom Brady has ever succeeded in their 40s. Straight up isn't true. Like
Yeah.
Brett Favre went to an NFC championship, Drew Brees won a division title, Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl. Like, and I'd put Rodgers up in that upper echelon with those guys. But yeah, I'm excited for Rodgers. I think once again, it was similar to Russ in Denver. You know, these Rodgers was brought in to like be the savior and face of this franchise. For Pittsburgh, he really doesn't have to be. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see him and DK. But yeah, with that being said, I wouldn't put him in very good. I'd put him like right there.
That's fine. Between Herbert and Nix, I have no problem with that. I think, well, it's easy to say I would take Nix if you give me a choice because he's younger and cheaper. But no, I think that's fine.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying I mean, Rodgers gets a lot of slack, but like his numbers last year were good. You know,
Yeah, especially second half of the season, they were very good.
yeah, nearly 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks,
Yeah.
which
Hmm.
is more than Hurts and more than Allen. I'm same as Allen, which I'm not saying he's nowhere near
Yeah.
like as good as those guys currently, but like the production was there at the very least.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
that's what Rodgers.
yeah, you pretty much hit it straight on with a lot of those things. I also think that people are like the people who are devastated by this and think we should have started Mason and think that he's going to run the team into the ground. That's an overreaction, I think. Um,
And the thing
th-
is, if
yeah,
if we did that with that idea in mind to like, tank or whatever, like have a down year, if we did follow through and have a down year, people would be like, "Oh, Tomlin, fire Tomlin." That's what would happen. That's exactly what would
yeah.
happen.
Uh-huh.
It's always
Uh,
it's always someone's fault, but
it's a double-edged sword. And the other thing is, we all know that wouldn't have happened. They still would have scratched and clawed to 8 or 9 wins. Um,
true.
so what Rogers does is he raises the ceiling, and he certainly makes it more interesting
Yeah. And fun to
um,
watch.
and fun to watch. Yeah. So
Right.
yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
Um, Ooh, Brock Purdy. This can get controversial. Okay. Well, first of all, he's not going any higher than Bo Nix. He's he's not going any higher than Bo Nix. I don't care.
Agreed. Sorry, Adam.
No, I'm
But I
fine.
will.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
thinking.
but I'll put him above Geno Smith. So you can put him right below Bo Nix and right above Geno Smith.
I think that's a good placement for him. I was almost going to
Look,
argue make your own Brock Purdy tier and just throw Brock Purdy in there, but I
look,
I think that's a good spot.
Brock Purdy, nice guy. I'd like to go golfing and drink a beer with him. I think that he's limited. I think that that team, their Super Bowl window is probably shut, despite the fact that they have like the easiest schedule in the NFL this year. So they're probably going to end up being really good.
Yeah,
I I'm not sure he's the guy that gets it done. I know he made the Super Bowl, but that NFC Championship, no, yeah, he made the Super Bowl.
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Almost beat the Chiefs.
So I know he's flirted with
But like, dude,
taking
like
them all the way, but like,
CMC, like,
yeah, that team was so good on paper everywhere around, and that team just got more expensive and older. And I know that has nothing to do with the quarterback, but we all look at Brock Purdy and we see obvious limitations. He's not 6'2". He's not as fast as some of the other guys for his height, uh, and he can't throw the ball as fast as some of the other guys who are his speed, um, or as far as some of the other guys. So I think that's look, he got paid and his numbers earned it, and he's a good quarterback.
yeah,
But and I think where we have him is fine. I'm not gonna, I don't think you can argue that he's a good quarterback, but I like Bo Nix and his physical tools better, and so that's just where I'm gonna put him.
I think him and Knicks are like the same in my eyes. Like they're so similar.
I
Like,
just think Nix is a bit more physically gifted.
true, I agree.
Like
And
like
a
he'll
better passer.
he'll occasionally run someone over,
Yeah, yeah,
and
I like watching Knicks play. It's cool.
yeah, so I
Adam,
think those guys like Adam. If we joked about making a brand new tier, I could just see like one tier with Bo Nix, Baker, and Brock Purdy. I think those guys, and like on the very, very low end of that, Will Levis. Those guys are all about the same to me. Um,
Will Levis.
but
Oh my God.
but where we put him right now.
Yeah. All right, Adam, you're up with Sammy D.
It's
Panthers
interesting.
legend.
Panthers legend.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
I think, listen, he had a really good year last year. Don't get me wrong. But I have my doubts for him this year based on how last year ended. You know, I think toward the end of last year, we kind of saw Sam Darnold go back to maybe closer to what he used to be. And now he doesn't have Kevin O'Connell coaching him anymore. He doesn't have Justin Jefferson to throw the ball to. No disrespect to JSN, he's going to be a really good receiver, but he's not Justin Jefferson.
Exactly.
So I don't really know how he's going to.
He's
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
he's
excited
hard
to
to
find out.
place.
Yeah, I think the top of mid is where I would put Sam Darnold. I I love
Hmm.
Justin Fields. I'd probably throw him above Justin, barely, just barely. He's proven more, I would say. After last year, I mean,
Wow.
being being the quarterback of a 14-win team that nearly won the division that had Detroit in it, I think he deserves to be at the top of that tier. That's what I would say. But I'll
I
let you.
What do you think, Dante?
I may put him low good. Um,
Yeah,
I
I'd
okay.
I'd rather I'd rather have Darnold right now than Geno. Is that insane?
yeah.
I I
I
thought
think no. Adam. I think you're being a little harsh.
I was gonna
I
say I thought saying he was low good would be too generous. So
no, no. I don't think so.
then
No,
that's fine.
I think
Well, okay. If you would have asked me after week 16 last year, I would have put him right below Herbert. Now, with with hindsight, I think bottom of good or right above Geno is fine, but I think mid is a little harsh.
Between Brock and Gino is fine with me, I'd say.
yeah, I'd put him there. Um, I'm just saying, Sam Darnold is never gonna have a season anywhere close to the one he had last year ever again. And as truthfully, not his fault. It's Kevin O'Connell knows how to make any quarterback
Yeah.
good. Like like you saw Kirk fall off right after he left the O'Connell system. Not saying Kirk wasn't good because he really was, but you saw, dude, Nick Mullins looked good in that Viking system.
Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs balled out. That's why I'm so. I know he's not on this tier, but
Yeah.
McCarthy's going to be good this year. I think.
Hmm.
I think
I
he's really
agree.
going to succeed, and
I
even
agree.
more so than Darnold did, because he's more mobile and can younger, and yeah, I think
Less miles on his legs. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's not so much a knock on Sam Darnold, it's a praise of KOC because he's one of my favorite coaches in the league. Just
Oh,
such a
easily.
good
Yeah. Hmm.
like QB whisperer, knows how to make any quarterback look good. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm up with Matt Stafford, who is one of my favorites. I love Matt Stafford. Um,
Also, I would say difficult to rank right now.
yeah, I'm in between top of good, low, very good. Is that insane?
It's a little bit higher than I would put it, but I
Would
think
you
I'm
put
also just thinking about the injuries, so I think
yeah?
that's probably fair.
Would you put Stafford ahead of Rodgers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, not without a doubt, but
I
yeah,
would.
yeah.
I'd rather have Stafford than Herbert right now. Is that
Me
insane?
too.
No,
No.
it's very close. Well, okay, for non just throw of the football reason, I'd rather have Herbert. He's younger and probably a little cheaper, um, but if you told me that I had to play 1 year and that was it, I would probably also take Stafford. So
Has won a Super Bowl, which is like kind of unfair because Herbert is young. Here I am making excuses for Herbert again. But
It's,
I've I'll go, is right there good for us?
yeah, hmm.
Okay.
that's fine. I'd put him a little higher than that, but that's fine.
Do you go above Herbert, Luke?
I
Yeah, go for it.
I
One,
would.
yeah, you won a playoff game last year. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, do it.
All right.
Yeah,
Adam, you're up with Mr.
I think
So.
I thought I was after Dante.
Oh yeah, you are so. So
Let's get to make sure we get this right.
because
We're
it's in
just
my
gonna
order on my screen, so it goes me, Adam, then you, Luke. So sorry.
okay. No, I'm just like I was like I don't know if I'm the one who's mistaken, but
my
I know.
computer
which is
went
cool
crazy.
because
So,
I like to say that I like the Cardinals, and for some reason I always put it that way that I like to say that I do, even though I guess it's just because I never really pay attention to them. But I was like, but it's always like they win, I'm like nice. They lose, I'm like oh well, it's Cardinals. Um, and that's how I feel about Kyler Murray. We put him top of mid. I think right above Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I like Kyler Murray. The guy is just so limited though.
Yeah.
He's never going to be better than he is right now. You look, they got up to a hot start last year. I think Jonathan Gannon is actually a good coach. I think they have some talent on that roster, but they have a really really hard ceiling, and they smacked their head off of it last year
Hmm.
and came crashing back down. Um, you're just not going to win with Kyler Murray as much as I like him. He's talented. He certainly is. First round draft pick in two sports, but what is he 5'10"? I'm not even 5'10", so I'm not calling him short. But in the NFL, he's short. I'm not saying oh look at the short guy, but in the NFL, he's short.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so that as much as I like him, I would take Geno Smith over him. I think he just belongs right at the top of that mid category.
Right.
On his very best day, he can outduel some good quarterbacks, but he, that on anybody's best day, it's the best day, and so it's just
Yeah.
got to be careful how you look at it.
True. All right.
all right.
This should be easy.
Well, this one's not that hard. I'm just trying to figure out where in a you can throw him in elite. I'm just trying to figure out where in elite I put him.
I know where I put him.
I was gonna say the
Where
highest I would probably throw him is third in elite.
All right.
Where would you put him, Luke?
I wouldn't put him any lower than second.
You'd put him above Mahomes.
Yes, easily.
Currently, yeah, I would.
In the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl, give me Mahomes every single day of the week. But Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson's
Yeah, I
the
guess
far more talented and exciting quarterback to me.
Is
the
he
thing
better than Burrow?
I
Probably.
would take Burrow. I think Burrow's one, but
I, um,
I don't know.
I would take Burrow to win me a game. I would take Lamar to score 40 on a good.
I think I
Okay,
think
you can probably leave Burrow first.
I think Burrow is far more consistent and trustworthy than Lamar. Because look, Lamar could, sh pardon my French, shit the bed for a drive, which
Yeah.
has happened. Throw stupid picks, which he has done, but that's also extremely rare.
Oh,
Um,
hold on, guys. We got to interrupt. We got breaking sports news.
what happened
Kevin Durant has been traded.
to who?
The Houston Rockets.
Wow.
Wow. Big
Jalen
win.
Green,
Wow.
Dylan Brooks,
Ooh.
10th overall pick,
Whoa.
5 second-round picks are going to Phoenix.
Whoa. That's
Damn.
gut reaction. That's way too much.
Yeah. Jalen Green's
Whoa.
good.
Jalen Green's good. Dylan Brooks is good. The 10th pick. In fact, whoa. Dude, for a what, 38-year-old Kevin Durant, who just didn't change a team so much so that they missed the play-in. Wow. I'm okay. I guess Alperen Sengun's their best player. And Fred VanVleet is still a good facilitator. And they just extended the coach, who's a really good coach. Wow, I did not know that that was the price. The rumors were that the price was much lower than that.
Houston, too. That's weird.
I
Yeah.
like it. I think Houston's the kind of city that Kevin Durant is going to gravitate towards.
Yeah.
But that's a bit of a shame. I kind of wanted to see him either with Wemby or with Anthony Edwards, but I
Yeah.
guess Houston will have to do. I mean, I like it. I'm intrigued. And by all accounts, they needed something to put them over the edge. They were the second seed in the West, and they got first rounded. Um, wow. Okay,
Anyway,
interesting. Um,
football
now
show.
let's talk about Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's something. Yeah, that is definitely big enough news to bring up, but interesting.
I'm up with Rudolph, right?
Yeah, you're up. Back to football.
Um, he's low mid.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
think
he's
that's. hmm
he's not 2023 Kenny Pickett, which is insane. Because like, would you
Because
rather have,
2023 Kenny Pickett played over him,
yeah, and
right?
would you rather have Richardson and Rudolph? Who would you rather have?
Between who?
Mm.
Sorry.
Richardson and Rudolph.
Oh.
I
No,
I'd,
I
ra- I'd, ra-
I
I
guarantee
guess
this.
Richardson for
I'd rather hand the
goal.
ball off every single time.
Yeah, I guarantee this is the first time anyone's ever had this conversation.
Ever had it.
Like
Yeah.
ever. Would you rather have Anthony Richardson or Mason Rudolph?
Yeah.
Hot take.
We're creating history. We're the first humans to ever have this debate. Um,
Rudolph has led a team to the playoffs and almost beat the Bills. I'll say that.
yeah.
Beat Joe. No, he didn't beat Joe Burrow in the Bengals. He beat
Mm.
Jake Browning in the Bengals.
Yeah, I'd rather have Rudolph.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have Rudolph.
Hot take. I know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
on fire. Okay, Drake May. Okay. The highest I will allow myself to put him is right above Geno Smith.
wow. I'd rather have him than Darnold. I'd
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
rather have him than
all right.
Purdy.
Well, now you're just. Well, I was trying to be a little
Shoot, I
generous.
could argue put him above Bo Nix.
No,
I would
put
not.
Burnett. No,
You don't think so?
I can't. I can't.
I'd put
Um,
him.
no, put him right below Purdy then.
That's where I was thinking, right there.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
we all know he's a better quarterback than Brock Purdy, but he was a rookie. He didn't have the numbers. You can't really do that yet. So,
Yeah.
A lot of these
um,
guys like Bryce Young, Drake May are going to be where they are, and then it's like come back next year and they might be in a higher
yeah.
spot.
hmm All right, cool. Tua. All right, this should get fun.
Am I up with two?
I know where I put him.
Where would you?
No, actually, I don't. I don't.
No. Okay.
I was just being rude.
Um. Well, see, Kyler's in mid, and I feel like Tua and Kyler are pretty similar.
Okay, no, he's better than that. He's better than
Tua's
that.
better than that.
Yeah.
Two is better than that.
Okay. Well,
I
now
will say, I do think he was a bit of a Tyreek Hill merchant for a bit, but
Oh, I mean, obviously, but
he's incredibly accurate, Tua. It's just the injuries. He's never on the field. I don't really know how much to buy in him at this point. This is a tough one.
if it were me, Adam, if this helps your decision, I'd put him either above or below Drake May right there.
That's what I was thinking. I
What do you think, Luke?
I'd put him above or below Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, interesting.
I did grow to have more respect for him last year. He throws a pretty ball. I will admit.
He does.
Yeah, I would put him probably right above Bo Nix
Hmm.
or right
I think
above Aaron Rodgers.
okay, that's fair.
Where you
If
put
you
him?
guys were if you guys were pulling him down a little bit, you can put him below Rodgers, I think.
Sure.
Sure. Let's do it.
I, I don't know, but that's just me.
I think that worked.
Um, I think that works.
That's
On
fine.
his best day, he can be really good.
Hmm.
Um, but like I said, you got to look at best days kind of carefully. So
Okay, CJ Stroud. I adore CJ Stroud, and I think we all are big fans of him. I put him right above Herbert.
yeah, all right. They beat him in the playoffs. They beat him in the playoffs. It's fine. CJ
Want
Stroud
to
beat
talk
Justin
about,
Herbert in the playoffs, so that's fine.
going into Stroud's career, you looked at Nico Collins and you looked at Tank Dell, and you're like, this guy doesn't really have many options, and CJ Stroud turned him into those guys.
Yeah, I still think. Well, that's an interesting way to put it. I think that they are those guys, probably on
They
their own.
are,
But
but would they be so if they didn't have? Would they be as good as they are without Stroud? Depends on who else is throwing the ball.
the most average guy possible, probably not. But they're probably still like Nico Collins is still an 1,000 yard receiver. I think with an average quarterback. Tank Dell probably not, but that's
I
fine. I mean,
Yeah, I'd rather have
I,
Stroud than
yeah,
Herbert.
I'd be tempted to put Stroud right below Herbert, but I can't complain about that.
All right. Adam,
Um,
thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's good for Stroud.
he's an Ohio State guy. He's insane. He can go above Jared Goff.
Yeah, true.
Uh,
No, that's a
um,
good spot for him.
I think that's fine. Oh boy, is it my turn? Trevor
Yeah,
Lawrence, top of mid.
agreed.
I put him right above Kyler Murray and right below Geno Smith. He has not done anything to earn any higher than that. And look, and now he has Travis Hunter. Brian Thomas Jr. is electric. He could have a really good year, but this is like what year six, and we're still waiting for his sophomore breakout. So come on,
This will be
uh,
year five. Yeah.
year five, out of patience, uh, out of rope, no more excuses. Uh, he does not deserve to be any higher than where I'm putting it right now. So
Agreed.
cool,
All right,
cool.
you're up with truthfully, my favorite quarterback in the NFL. I love Jordan Love.
I like Jordan Love. Yeah, Jordan Love's a good player. I feel like he still has another step to take.
Yeah,
I, he look, sometimes he plays like he's very good, but I don't think he belongs in the very good tier, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Um, I think between Herbert and Rodgers is where I would put Love.
That's exactly where I was thinking.
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay.
That's good.
I
Yeah, I
I
feel like
like
And
Herbert and Love are kind of the same player. Like,
I feel like Jordan Love is really streaky. Like he'll
yeah,
go on a 4 or 5 week run where he's just unstoppable. But then again, sometimes he just doesn't have it.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
I'm not gonna do it, but could argue, is he better than Herbert? I
You
know his
definitely could. You
I,
definitely.
I don't think so. I mean, you can argue it, yeah, but I don't
that's
think
If
yeah,
this tier list were during Toyotathon, Jordan Love would be an elite. We know that.
so. Yeah. Uh-huh. Um. Oh boy, Will Levis.
All right, Dante. Penn State legend here.
Well,
uh,
there's only one. There's only one question to answer. Above or below Anthony Richardson?
I put him below.
Below, yeah,
I
yeah.
will say a couple years ago, it was my junior year of college. I went and saw the Steelers play the Titans Thursday night football,
I remember that.
and Will Levis was unbelievable.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was his
He
first
was,
ever start too, I think.
he was dicing us up. And
Yeah.
I was like, in my head, I was like, Will Levis is the future of the Titans. This guy,
Was that the game that DeAndre Hopkins had like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns?
no, that was like the week before.
Okay, yeah, because that was his first start. I remember he had like two 75-yard touchdowns or
Yeah,
something
yeah, that was insane.
absurd. Yeah,
And he kind of carried it over, but I think our defense kind of clutched up. But like, I was like, Kenny Pickett versus Will Levis. What a matchup. Now looking back, dumpster fire. Oh
yeah,
my God, dude. Anyway,
Now,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say Will Levis is the worst quarterback ever. If he were to
Uh,
end up in a situation like Darnold was in last year with a coach like O'Connell, I feel like he could have a good year with the Vikings.
I truly think his meme ability is like swaying our vision a little bit because we just look at the guy and laugh and think about like all the funny stuff he did. But like that was so funny. But like
yeah,
I don't think Darnold's doing that. Like the falling throwing a pick. Like that was pitiful.
yeah,
I was like that was equal to like the Javi Baez versus the Pirates running back to home plate. Like
yeah,
that was that equivalent.
yeah,
But yeah, Will Levis, not great. I'd rather have Richardson just because of his physical,
Yeah.
intangibles, you know.
yeah. Mhm.
Luke, you get to rank one of my favorite quarterbacks. Maybe
Yeah,
my
but
favorite besides Bryce Young
Love
and
Baker.
Justin Fields.
Baker is weird though.
He is a Panther legend though.
He is.
Yeah,
He is
that's
indeed.
a good look. That's a good team around him, and it's clear those guys love him. Chris Godwin took a pay cut to stay. He got Mike Evans' 1,000 yards. But the O line's really good. Bucky Irving's really good. Um, I just don't know where I want to put him.
I feel like if you want my, I'll let you talk first.
The absolute highest I think you can put Baker Mayfield is right above Aaron Rodgers. But I
I
also don't
That's fair.
really want to do that. I'm tempted to put him just right above Bo Nix, and right behind Tua.
I think he's better than Tua.
I do too. I was gonna say he's right. The highest I'd put
Yeah.
him is above Rodgers. I will say that.
You can put him between Rodgers and Tua.
Lowest I'd
I
put
just,
below two, I guess.
Nah, lowest I'm going is below Rodgers. I think he's dude, he, has gone to the playoffs, won a playoff game with the Bucks. Tua hasn't won a playoff game with the Dolphins.
or, you can put him above Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers hasn't done. Aaron Rodgers is just such a question mark. So,
You could
uh,
argue if Baker doesn't have some turnovers in playoff games, he could have three playoff wins with the Bucks right now because they almost beat Detroit and they almost beat Washington last year.
True.
So, and
yeah.
not to bring it up, he does have another playoff win in his career too.
He does, which like, yeah, by all means. And
Mhm.
they should have kept him. They really should have.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And it puts such a smile on my face, the fact that Cleveland is sputtering for a quarterback while they, got rid of a guy who got them their first playoff win in 20 years just for a guy who hasn't played football in 2 years and was also, on trial. I'm just saying.
It's like
Yeah.
the New York Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau. I mean, maybe they felt like it was a good idea to move on, but he just brought them the farthest they've gone in like 25 years. So who knows if
Well,
they make the right decision there.
I will say at first, no offense, Adam, because like Baker wasn't too good on the Panthers. So
Oh,
at
he
first,
wasn't. You can say that. That's fine. It's a no
so at
talk.
first it did look like a good decision from the Browns, but we all know what happened in LA, which
Yeah.
is insane. I will say wide receiver 1 and 2 on that team in that game were Steeler legends, Van Jefferson and Ben Skoranek. I will say that. Insane. That's a crazy pull, I know. But
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Baker was also kind of set up to fail because he had Matt Rule. And I mean, if Dave Canales was on our staff when Baker was there and he got to be with Baker a year early, who knows? Maybe Baker would be our quarterback right now. But
yeah, and
well,
that would be nice, but
all right. I
he's
guess
right
it's
now.
my turn now, right? We are just skipping over Derek Carr and it's
Yeah,
to
I
rank.
think real quick, good is getting a little crowded. Let's just go over two things real quick. Uh, are we tempted at all to move Matthew Stafford up to very good, or are we tempted at all to move Geno Smith down to mid?
We
If
could
the
also
if the
make a
answer to
quick.
no, if the answer to both of those things is no, I think that's completely fine. But
I'm more tempted to move Geno down to mid than Stafford up to very good.
yeah, I think that's fair. I think because I just wonder if like Geno, I there will come a time I think where he just isn't that guy anymore. So
Hold on, here's what I'll
um,
do. Oh wait. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
no,
Oh,
don't do that either.
don't do that. Hold on.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph above Geno Hurts or
Dude, I am
Jalen
messing
Hurts.
this up.
What's going on here?
There we go. How's that look?
Well, now you got
No,
to move very good back up.
Oh man, I didn't even realize that.
yeah,
What?
You got here, move it up and then yeah, go up.
Oh my
move
God.
with
So
it.
sorry. There we
There
go.
you
Uh,
go. You're
Back to
good.
okay,
normal.
right. Geno Smith, who spells his first name with an E, by the way, now has his own tier.
I was spelling it like my dog.
Yeah, well, I can't blame you for that. Nick, good. Now his name got even bigger. Geno Smith. I think it works.
I was thinking
Because
making
it's
So
above.
funny.
it's really funny.
That's all caps.
Actually, I'd be tempted to put Sam Darnold and Geno Smith.
You know
I'm
what?
not gonna lie.
I'd agree with you.
But
I
we still have Sam Darnold one higher though.
okay. In the
Yeah.
Geno Smith tier. Sam Darnold is the Patrick Mahomes of Geno Smiths.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
So
I mean, both those guys basically did the same thing. Both of them played for the Jets. Their careers should have been dead, and they were revived somewhere else.
that's
While
honestly,
while the Jets watched on in horror. So I think
yeah,
that's perfect, actually.
yeah, I can agree.
Um, so that's gorgeous. All right. Now that we have gotten through that, Adam, it's Bryce Young's time. So
I'd probably put Bryce above Justin Fields. I think that's where I'd put him. In between Kyler and Fields.
That's fair.
I agree. I think you could even put him above Kyler. I think it's close.
I mean, it is, but
The way both of those guys finished out last year, right? Bryce Young had a better second half than Kyler Murray did.
he
Is it
did.
insane to say I'd rather have Bryce Young right now than Trevor Lawrence?
Yes,
Well,
Is
I
it?
think so.
maybe
Not insane, but it'd be wrong to say, I
it's
think.
not because Trevor makes so much more money, but
Yeah, if you look at all those things, then
No,
no.
yeah,
But
I'm overrating. I'm so sorry.
sorry. I mean,
I don't know.
one of them is like half a foot taller, so
I think there is a conversation there, though.
there's a
Yeah,
conversation about production. But
True.
if you're starting the team fresh with the same contract,
I think
you take Trevor Lawrence.
Kyler's best has been better than Bryce Young's best.
True. That is
Well,
true.
I think.
Yes.
Sure.
And Bryce
So
Young is also only 2 years in. So
yeah. Next year though, I think you're talking about Bryce hopefully being in the tier with like Drake May and all the other guys.
I
But
hope so.
right now, I think that's a good spot.
I'm a big fan of Bryce Young.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Where are we gonna put Michael Penix?
I'd put him
Donovan.
in unproven slash rookies.
Yeah,
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
think that's fine.
Yeah.
The only other
Do
thing,
we? Here's what I was gonna say. Do you want to? Should we move the unproven slash rookies list above 2023 Kenny Pickett? Because are we taking all those guys above
maybe
the,
not all of them, but sure.
maybe not all of them, but
It
Sure, why not?
is just appropriate to have the worst tier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But
I
yeah,
yeah,
go
I
ahead, Luke.
think you could probably put Penix above Rudolph, maybe above Fields, but that's also really just probably unnecessary.
I would. I think I would.
And I think you would. I just we can
He
decide
only
if we think
started
it's
like
even
what,
worth.
3 or 4 games?
Yeah, I think I would take him over those guys. I just think we can decide if it's even worth declaring that or just because he is unproven. It's true. So there's nothing wrong with having him there. Um,
I don't know.
but we'll just leave him there because he
Yeah.
only started three or four games, so it's fine. Now, this I will take advice. I really don't know where to put Dak Prescott. I don't really pay attention to them that much, and he's missed some time. Like I feel like the appropriate place would be top of good or bottom of very good, but I don't, like, is that even? I don't know. I don't watch him that much, so
I'd
at
put,
his best, he's probably
yeah.
top of
I'd
good,
probably
bottom of
put
very good.
Dak below CJ Stroud. Oh, actually below. Oh no, I don't know.
I'd put him right below Stafford.
Dak at his best is probably top of good tier, maybe bottom of very good, but at his worst, I'd say is like below Baker Mayfield.
No, dude, because like truthfully, like
I don't know.
I know the Cowboys the Cowboys are so good during the regular season that like nobody watches them and no one even cares because it's all about like, oh, we all know they're gonna choke in the playoffs.
Yeah, and they just do that. They 50-piece bad teams. And it's like okay,
Which
it's
like
like this is what they do.
but like Dak is good in those games. So like are we have to judge him based on the quarterback he is, but he also does,
Honestly, I think I would put him bottom of very good. I think actually because he's gonna have George Pickens. If he can stay healthy for a whole year, I think he's gonna be probably that good.
cool.
I
I'm
think
fine
that
with that.
yeah, I think if he can stay healthy a whole year, he probably is that good.
Yeah.
Um, and we all love Matthew Stafford, and we think they're gonna have another really good year. But he's also like only a year or two away from retirement, so it's possible that it just doesn't look as good as it should. So we'll see. I think that's fair. I
All right.
think I probably would maybe take Stafford and Stroud, but like I said, Stafford's older and Stroud had a slump last year, so I think Dak up there is respect earned probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Dak. I'm a Dak defender.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, I like him. So. All right, I guess that leaves Adam with Russell Wilson, although the last guy this can be an open conversation.
Um, well, I don't Russ.
I have like a couple places in mind. I'll have a range in mind.
I would put him right below Justin Fields. That's just me, but
Mm,
I don't know.
I can see why that makes sense to say. I don't think I would. What were you going to say, Dante?
I was gonna say potentially putting him in Geno Smith tier.
I was thinking it. I was thinking it. Somewhere between Geno Smith and Justin Fields ish. Yeah. I don't mind him in Geno Smith here. Although for Trevor, I would probably take Trevor. At this point, I would probably take Kyler and probably take Bryce Young. Although I don't know.
Honestly, Adam's first assessment isn't insane.
It's not insane.
I honestly, but like Russ was better than Fields last year.
I would probably take Russ over Fields.
I'm cool with right there.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah.
Adam, are you
Because
okay?
I think
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
because I also don't think Russ is gonna play any better. So
True.
meanwhile, Bryce Young is gonna continue to get at least a little bit better. So I think that's fine.
Thanks. All right.
All right,
Here's our
cool.
list.
There it is.
Do we want to move anything around?
Well, let's start at the top. Joe Burrow, Lamar, Mahomes, Allen. I think that's perfect. We all know that in the AFC Championship or in the Super Bowl, we would want Mahomes. But I think talent and production, I think I think that's correct. You
Yeah.
could probably even argue Mahomes fourth, but we
Nah,
all know,
I wouldn't go that far.
yeah.
which is it's crazy putting Allen fourth because he's still so good. He's the reigning MVP. But like currently, I'd rather have Burrow, Lamar, and Mahomes over
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then Hurts is better than Daniels. Daniels is
Yes.
better than Goff, and Goff is better than Dak, I think.
And we just talked about Dak. Yeah.
No, I think this is
Like the
good.
one change I think I could make is maybe giving us permission to put Drake May over Brock Purdy. Um, we
I
also don't need to do that.
I like Drake May more just like personally than Purdy, but Purdy has been to a Super Bowl, so like
Yeah.
you know, like that's
Yeah.
the thing that's keeping me. But then again, Bo Nix hasn't. But Bo Nix is just a better quarterback, I
But
think.
no, Burnix is better than yeah. I think this is good.
Cool. I'm gonna screenshot.
Maybe you could put Trevor in Geno Smith, but
Nah, nah.
nah, I think Geno Smith is too perfect the way it is because both those guys were Jets and they shouldn't have had a career and now they're decent. So that's perfect.
True. Alrighty. I think that
All
does it.
right, cool. That settles it.
Yeah.
I like it.
All
What
right,
do you
Adam,
say,
game
Dom?
7 tonight. What are your predictions?
Um, Thunder win, hopefully.
Score prediction?
Last game seven we had, we blew out Denver. I don't think we're going to be blowing out Indiana.
It's in OKC, right?
Yes. I will say at the least we win by 2 or 3. At the most, we win by 14. But I'll say we win by like 6. Like 120, 114, something like that.
Are
But
you gonna shed a tear if they win?
I don't know.
I'm
I don't know
I'm
if
just
I'm really
saying
the shed a tear sports kind of guy,
Are
but
you a shed a tear or crack a beer kind of guy? If they win
both.
both.
I'm just saying if the Steelers ever whenever that is, whenever the Steelers win a Super Bowl again, I will be crying. Yeah.
understandably.
Dude, I was in tears when the Clippers made the Western Conference Finals a couple years
Dude,
ago. So
legitimate.
yeah,
I will be in tears whenever the Steelers win their next playoff game. Just to get
if
them
Penn State wins national championship,
oh fucking
The sheer
bring
fear.
the tissues out, man.
absolutely 100%. Because that's like I know I didn't go there, but I went there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Anyway,
But yeah, let's hope for the best tonight. I mean, if not, I'll be upset, of course, but it's not like our window's closed.
Oh no, yeah.
This is only the beginning, but you're right here. You want to get it done.
yeah, yeah. That'd be sick to see.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, fellas.
All
Well,
right.
for those watching, thank you for tuning in or listening. But for this episode, watching makes more sense because you get to see the visual. So we are your
We'll
hosts.
bring this back with another. Sorry, I'm interrupting, but
No,
we'll
no,
bring
no,
this
you're
back
good.
with another position sooner than later.
Running backs for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, tight ends we could do. That might be a little harder though.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't really know much about everybody's tight end. Running back we can do though.
Kickers, long snappers. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Head coaches, if there's a head coach tier list out there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Zach Taylor. F. Sorry.
Mike McDaniel. Yeah, no.
Raheem
No.
Morris. Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah, we'll
Random.
see. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Dante.
And Luke.
We'll catch you on the next one. Have a good day.